All right, Shalom. I want to begin by giving all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechak. All right, double honor to our beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to hopefully elect. And Shalom to all the Akim pushing this truth with sincerity. It's the brother Itazawan from the GMS Columbus, Ohio branch. All right, coming back with the part 2 video, continuation of the video I did prior to this one. Pretty much going into predictive programming, all right, and ultimately Esau Edom's, determination to run and rule the world, all right, via AI, all right, his left-hand angel, okay, et cetera, et cetera. And it's, pretty much, laying backing off of the movie, all right, called Mercy, good movie so far. And, prior to this video, I had watched just the beginning of it, which, it pretty much tapped into the synopsis of what the AI judge was, what it represented, all right, and how, it came to be, okay? And, I had caught some more of it earlier today, all right? And pretty much, it's diving into everything, concerning Esau Edom's NWO and how he eventually wants to set up, all right, his one world government and ultimately, again, surveil, all right, and have everyone tagged, in the sense of, being able to, run and govern, all right, and watch over every, human being's life, okay? And that's exactly what it was, okay? And in particular, they dealt with something called a municipal cloud, all right? And, pretty much, like we always go into, Esau Edom has set up this AI, to be the eyes and the ears, all right, over its cattle, which he looks at, all of those, outside of his nation, and then even in his nation, as cattle, all right, the small hats, so on and so forth. They look out at everyone outside of that, specific set as goyim, all right, or cattle. Okay, and us understanding that, we understand that, that's what Esau Edom wants. He wants to brand his cattle. Okay, real quick, let's just get it. All right, Revelation 13. Let's start at 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. All right, now he is speaking of Esau Edom. And like I said, to give life unto the image of the beast, right? To make the image of the beast, his policy, so on and so forth, to be alive, to speak in the earth. All right, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? All right, and real quick, let me see. All right, because when you go into this word killed, it's not just automatically, being put to death, but if you don't link yourself with this system, you will be outside of the grid. All right. Let me see. It may go into it, or maybe the root of it. Let's see. Slay, outright, figuratively, to destroy, put to death, kill, slay. It's got a root. Let's see what the root says. Here we go. Right, separation. All right, what's that? Apple. All right, so again, if you're not linked to this system, you will be separated, okay, from the cardinal means and necessities that you need. You see, if your biometrics aren't, entered into this, worldwide database, again, where Esau Edom can surveil you. All right, keep track of every little thing you do, man. And again, just tapping into this movie one more time, it was fucking bugged out, because, ultimately when I don't want to spoil the movie, but pretty much they had technology to where, again, they had what you call a municipal cloud. And this cloud, ultimately has data stored from everything, all right, from your phone devices, surveillance, cameras, social media. I mean, it just had tabs on everything that, man, women, and children do, all right, as a whole, to the point where, and in particular, it's a scene where they literally had this man's timeline recorded, all right, different key events in his life that had happened, all right, which, even still, you look at it now, Esau Edom has that now, all right, you know, different data, that's why what they call it, the cloud, where everything is stored. Like when you got your phone, you got iCloud, where you could store things, save things, what I'm saying, so on and so forth. But with AI, the AI judge, which is called Mercy, was able to flip through these things, at a heartbeat, what I'm saying, in a heartbeat, what I'm saying, and build a case up, against, whoever they deem to be guilty, you see? So, it's crazy. But again, these are the things that Esau is doing via predictive programming. All right, getting people weaned to being in these type of, or into this modernized society, where AI is governing and ruling, and being, like I said, the eyes and the ears, for the elites. Okay, so real quick, I was just going on AI and, just asking it some questions to, give some detail. Like I said, again, I'm trying my best to explain it without spoiling it, but I do recommend, brothers to watch it. All right. Very, very spiritual, or prophetic, if you will, movie. All right. To, show you ultimately, again, what Esau, Edom, and the elites are planning. But real quick, let's just read a couple things I looked up. Municipal Cloud. It says municipal cloud solutions are secure, internet accessible platforms designed for local governments to modernize operation, enhancing efficiency, data security, and citizen engagement while reducing IT costs. These systems facilitate, among other things, utility billing, agenda management, financial reporting, and remote work capabilities. Common solutions include Town Cloud, UniLink, Oracle Government Cloud. All right. Let me see. Let me get some of these bullet points. I want to go to enhanced security. It says feature secure remote data hosting with built-in ransomware protection, regular updates, and disaster recovery plans. And again, if you want to go into it further, you can. But I just went into it deeper in the question. Like I said, concerning the movie, it says, can you explain this further in the movie Mercy? It says in the 2026 science fictional thriller Mercy, the municipal cloud is a central plot device that represents a extreme near future evolution of the real world cloud technology we discussed earlier, right? So it's cloud technology. All right. It says in the film's version of 2029 Los Angeles, how ironic, the 2020-30 plan, or I said 2020-30, 2030 plan, so on and so forth. They're pushing for these things again via predictive programming, etc. Even further when you go into the movie Afraid, with the AI, almost like Alexa, they're gearing the people up, for AI to be incorporated in their daily lives. Okay, and like I brought out in the 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says, at least Satan should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Okay. So it reads, it says, a legally mandated system where every private citizen and organization must connect their digital devices. It serves as a primary data source for the Mercy Court, an AI-driven judicial system presided over by an AI judge named Maddox. All right, you see, so again, it says is a legally mandated system where every private citizen and organization must connect their digital devices. Right, so you got to connect your digital devices to this municipal cloud. Again, for surveillance. All right, and like they said, the reason for them bringing it forth was because of civil unrest to make the planet safer, quote unquote, to make the planet safer, you know, and be able to catch who they deem to be bad guys or people who commit certain crimes. All right, and have AI judge them without feeling, without remorse, all right, or without, any human understanding, so to speak. All right, this is role of the municipal cloud in the movies is total surveillance. The cloud integrates data from every camera, smartphone, doorbell, and database in the city. You see, so again, your smart cities, okay, your smart cities. Can't forget about those. Your smart cities, all right, where everything is surveilled, everything is recorded. The doorbells ring, all right. Databases, smartphones, like I said, iCloud, everything is linked into one. There's no privacy, okay? This allows the AI judge to instantly analyze a defendant's probability of guilt based on real-time and historical digital footprints. A weaponized public utility, unlike today's municipal clouds used for billing or administration. This version is used for law enforcement and immediate capital punishment. The defendant's tool, I'll just read it. It says, when Detective Chris Raven, played by Chris Pratt, is accused of murder, the AI grants him access to the municipal cloud. He must surf through citywide surveillance and private records to find exonerating evidence before his 90-minute trial ends in execution, right? So they put him up, all right, in the court with Maddox, okay? And, he has an hour, 30 minutes to prove himself not guilty based off the data that was stored in a municipal court. But like I said, again, they literally had, tabs on everything this man does. Okay. And that's, ultimately Esau Edom's goal, to be like the Most High. All right. Real quick. Let's go to Isaiah, the 14th chapter. All right. Because, ultimately this is what this devil wants, and that's why he's using his carnal blessing to, attempt, to surpass the Most High, all right, to cause a worldwide rebellion against the Heavenly Father, all right, that mirrors, ancient things like the Tower of Babel, all right. What's that in, is that Genesis, is it 11? All right, so, those same left-hand practices and means are now here in modern day. Okay, and with technology, this is how Esau Edom is trying to obtain those things. Let's make sure we on. Okay, come on. Real quick, this is Isaiah 14. And let's start at 12. It says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Right. So again, he's trying to, be in a position of the Heavenly Father. Verse 14, it says, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. Right. See, so he's using AI. Okay. Like I said, his carnal means, his carnal blessings to try to obtain that. But ultimately, the Heavenly Father has this man in a trick bag. Okay, he really thinks, that he can combat, the will of the Heavenly Father, okay, and get his blessing back. Real quick, this is Obadiah 1:3. It says, real quick, let's just start at the top. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith Yahweh God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from Yahweh, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Right, and you see that today. Esau Edom is greatly despised, all right, amongst his fellow, heathenish nations. Verses 3, it says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right. So again, the pride of Esau has deceived him. Okay. He's really going to try to, go through with his plans. But again, the Heavenly Father has this man in a trick bag. All right. Again, this stirring up his spirit as he has done Pharaoh, to magnify him, etc., and exalt, Esau, Edom as a nation. So ultimately, the Lord in the end can, destroy him and magnify his very name in the planet Earth. All right. It's the same equation. Okay. So, Lord willing, I want to finish out this movie, gather some more information. I may come with a part 3, kind of pressed for time, about to go into class. So, Lord willing, just something quick to put out through the Spirit. Again, daily lessons to put spirit of diligence in these last days and make our calling and election sure. That gonna give all glory and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rik HaKodash. Shalom.